Vénganse, vénganse, vénganse. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a cantar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a llorar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a fumar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy.
Welcome, people of the world. I'm Natalie.
I'm Ricky. I remember my name today.
Yay! We all remembered our names, and I want to introduce our guest by her Instagram name, and I just want to call her by her Instagram name. Is it Alerma?
Alerma.
Yes. I'm not sure what is it. We have Anita here.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Anita, thank you so much for being here with us. So
Excited.
And we have Ray here too.
Oh,
who's
yeah.
joining us today.
Ray. Hey.
Natalie manages to always. Yes, last week Ray was Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
He was introduced as Andrew.
Yeah.
Today she just forgot he was here completely.
I didn't forget he was
Mañana
here.
Andreas.
Just, you know,
We'll
we'll mention him along the way, and luckily I just remember my name. I think that's the most important part,
I'm really
you
not
know?
offended. I'm good. Don't worry about it.
Because then I'm
We got a
hot
special
and
guest.
nervous.
We got a special guest. That's what I'm excited
Yes.
about.
Yes.
I would say yes, but thank you guys. Very
Familia.
humbled.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to introduce you by starting out and asking you what it is that you do, who you are, besides being a lovely, wonderful person. I love
Oh,
you.
thank you. What I do, I try to stay sane for one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Completely. It's a real thing, guys.
Yeah.
But I work with mental health with children during the day and do a whole lot of things at night.
Ooh.
So let me clarify. I started making beads, so
Yeah.
barefoot grounded.
Yeah.
I got mine on.
Oh, yay.
I wear this every day.
Aw, I love that. I have some too. I'm not
Yes,
wearing them
thank you,
now.
ladies, for the support.
Jeez, Ricky, you're making me look bad now.
I knew she was coming.
I haven't even
represent
gotten
her
mine
work.
from Hex yet.
Hex
Are you
has it.
serious?
Hex has it.
He holds everything hostage. The right time. It's gonna come at the right time, and Hector will give
It's
it to you.
meant to get to you when it gets to you.
Yeah, there you
Ooh,
go.
I like that.
It's not its time yet. And then I have my son's best friend's wife, which is comadre, got me into wanting to work with her. She's a therapist, so she wanted to add in some holistic support through the mental health. So I'm sample certified.
Hey.
And yoga certifying right now, which is intense.
Yeah.
And I just completed my essential oil training today.
Ooh,
So I'm
fun.
excited for that.
Congratulations on
Thank you.
that.
So you
That's
know how to
exciting.
work all the opportunities with the chakras, like both with the oils, with the yoga, with the sound
I'm
bowl,
getting
like
there, yes.
everything.
And the sound bowls are just, I don't know what they do.
What
but
about
they do.
crystals? Have you dabbled in crystals?
I have them. I'm learning a lot about them.
Right.
And how to use them, when to use them. Started putting them around my house. Started purchasing from this lovely lady,
Yeah. Yeah.
Natalie.
Yeah.
You sell crystals?
What?
In a sense.
You sell crystals? I thought you just sold plants.
Once upon a time, I sold crystals.
Well, I was like,
sorry, I was so confused by your question. I was like, what is she asking me right now? Delayed processing. My bad. Yeah, I've definitely sold crystals to Anita and sold plants to
The
Anita
plants,
and the whole
yes.
bit.
so our listeners know you have your shop Primavera Color Limon.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you haven't already checked it out, this is the plug. You can get your plants and more plants and the little
Sage and Palo Santo.
sage bundles. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
support small business because they're much nicer than at Home Depot.
Yeah. Oh,
For
yes.
sure.
That's
She said
for
Home
sure.
Depot.
Or
Yeah.
Walmart because
Yeah.
they're dying and falling
Yeah,
apart and
yeah.
dry.
Yeah, you're
And you know
guaranteed
they're
to-
made with love.
Absolutely.
That's important.
Cared
I haven't,
for.
mine's haven't died yet.
Oh, good.
They're
No,
still alive.
girl, please
So-
don't. I would hate for you to come to me a week later like they're dying. I'm like, what did you do,
Natalie,
Anita?
No, they're beautiful. My niece was over and she's like, I have a Hawaiian vibe going on. I want to go to Hawaii
Ooh.
because they're out on the table the way they had them arranged. And I was like, okay, I got you a plug.
Yeah, yeah.
So
whenever I'm here, and I'm gonna go this weekend, so I'm excited.
You're going to Hawaii this weekend?
No, I'm going to LA. So yeah, I should clarify that, huh? I'm going to LA this weekend to go pick up plants. So,
nice.
but that'd be nice to just take a
After-
quick trip.
You go, you know what? we could go early tomorrow to get the plants and then go to Mi Vida's quinceañera at Hello Stranger.
Yeah. Oh, the quinceañera.
Multitasking.
That's awesome.
Yes.
There you go.
But speaking of Mi Vida, and because I want to say the first time I learned about Lerma, and it's funny because I know her name is Anita, but I love calling her Lerma.
No, I know. I want to call her the same thing.
Wait, so your last name is Lerma?
Lerma.
Anita? What's your middle name?
I guess I should have put a dot in there, huh?
No.
My Elena.
Oh, I love that name.
Anita Elena Lerma.
Oh, you know, if I had a daughter, I want to name her Elena.
Oh.
That's on my list.
So when I got in trouble, it was Ana Elena.
Ooh.
That was
Serious business. But I think the first time I became aware of you was when we were doing the live Instagram lives, the Firme Fridays with Mi Vida. I think that's the first time I heard of you or became aware of you, which kind of goes in part with the fascination of so many people that we've met because of COVID, you know, online. And shouts out to everybody in the chat right now. Thank you so much for joining this journey with us. And we have a lot of folks in there who have never met, but who have these great relationships with one another. And slowly, I think we've all kind of connected the dots. And we've been talking about for so long, like having a big party to bring everybody together. But if you could share with us how did you find us? How did you get to, I'm assuming you're a hardcore Dodger fan and must have started with Severe, but how did you find all of us?
Actually, I stumbled upon it during COVID. So I was like stuck in the house and, you know, and I found you guys playing, but I can't remember who it was first that I can't remember who gave it to me first, but I was looking for a support for suicide prevention.
Oh, you okay?
And then I got your number through, not your number, but like
Instagram
online. And I was embarrassed. And then it went to Bartley, I think.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And then it ended with you.
Yes.
And then
And
we met at my office where you came with the beautiful merch.
We were so late delivering the merch. Remember, we were handling Severe's merch, and it was we were trying so many different vendors, and Anita was so patient with me, and it was so long. And I said, I need to just give this to you. Yeah. And so again, we're strangers. We don't know each other other than the correspondence online. Yeah. And I got to meet her. So that was your work.
Monday.
That was where you worked.
Where I worked
in one of the mental health.
Yeah.
Are you still there?
I am currently trying to leave.
And we had like a great conversation in the parking lot. Like it was a minute that we were there. But as soon as I met her, I was like, this is a good human being. Like she's got a good soul. Truly.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I need to do more. I think I've completed what I needed there. Not that I don't love what I do. It's just I feel it needs to be somewhere else right now. So everything has its time, right? Yeah. Merch had its time.
And it's good that you know that everything has a season and that your time there is coming to an end. So I hope that you're able to find something somewhere else that's more fulfilling.
Yeah. It'll get there. It's meant to be somehow.
Actually, Natalie, I like how you I know you didn't mean to say fulfilling, but it is. You're searching for that feeling of fullness. Yeah. Yes, fulfillment, but also to feel that fullness. Yeah. I'm with that.
I like it.
I like it too.
So you were talking about how you actually saw us. We were mentioning this is our third season of On This Frequency, but you were also one of those people who saw us on Instagram when we were doing it from the patio.
And that would be the first season. That was the first season.
Experimenting with all of that. So we really appreciate you. You're essentially family because we did really all get to know each other during COVID and just that bond was there.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
It was.
So I'm curious, because you recently got certified in sound bath healing and you recently started your yoga certification, right?
Yeah.
What brought you to that point? Like what made you decide, all right, I'm going to do this. This is my next step here.
So Nicole, so her name's Nicole.
The other Legaspi. Right?
Not Nicole Legaspi. So I have two Nicoles that I got to keep track of.
Okay.
It's Nicole and Nikki. I got to...
Wait, and both are in health and fitness?
So, no, one is health and fitness, which is Nikki.
Okay.
And then the other one is the therapist that's incorporating her holistic practices. So, which is my son's comadre.
Okay.
And she kept telling me, come on. So she got me my job I'm at now. So now I'm with her and my other job. So she wants to pull me in completely.
Oh, I love that.
And she's like, here you go. you're going to get sound bath certified. Here goes the yoga certification. And
Should
I'm like,
just here you go.
yes.
Yeah.
Had you ever experienced this? Is it sound bath or sound bowl? What is it?
So it's the bath is what you do, and then the bowl is what you play.
So you're actually taking a bath.
No, so it's called, so you, what it is, it's a very relaxed environment. So lights dim, you set the mood per se, and you relax, sitting down, laying down, however it makes you feel comfortable. And then there's several bowls that you play. So it's like high frequency that kind of clears bad energy waves out of yourself or any, you can also take your crystals when you go. It's good for your home. So if you're at home, you can play it on YouTube. Clears out energies.
I just thought, I have an idea.
Well, and I wanted to make a request, and I think we're thinking the same thing. Okay,
Yes,
say
okay,
it.
no,
Well, let me see if we're all here at the same place because I had a bowl in the car that I was going to bring in to play before I left.
Hello.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yes.
Yes.
I was like, can I make a request? Can you do this here?
Yes, but so because
No?
see how I was literally thinking like, and the first time I had heard of a sound bath, it was a friend of mine. She's like, "Oh yeah, I did it in Palm Springs," and I literally imagined like a bunch of people in a bath, like or like a big pool type area with the sound bowl in the bath or in the back, so that it's kind of a like dimensional experience, so to speak. But before she introduced you to that, had you known about that? Were you aware of that?
I've heard of them, but I've never like dabbled or looked into it or been to one.
Right.
But now they have one where it's the metal bowls. They have a big one you can stand in it and
Oh, that's
You can
cool.
stand in it.
stand or sit in it.
So I went to NAM last year, which is a conference for music. They had an entire section, of just sound bowls.
How
I
cool
was like,
is
wow.
that?
Yeah, when I saw them at NAM, I was like, this is serious business. Like, this is
Yeah.
no
Oh, yeah.
joke. Just like aisles and aisles of all kinds of different bowls.
How interesting. I wouldn't
Definitely
have
see your
imagined
doctor, but they are said to help with like ailments.
that.
So definitely seek a doctor for any medical, assistance, but it's supposed to help with a lot of things.
How cool.
Yeah. And it's made out of crystal quartz. So that's why they're
All the bowls?
all of them.
Ooh,
Oh, really?
that sounds expensive and fragile.
Yes. I'm like, don't drop the ball.
Yeah, you have to. it's like
Wait,
your
so
baby.
people do it themselves?
So they'll go and it's either like setting up like a yoga mat or the area we have is clean. So we put out like bean bags and you just sit there and however you want to meditate, sitting down, laying down, sitting, in a yoga position. But it's just that quiet calmness that you release everything for the day or the moment or whatever you want to release. Excuse me.
I'm
And then
imagining it right now.
that's beautiful.
I know we should do a whole team thing and we should all go. You down, Ray?
Well, I was even gonna
Ray.
say, Ray. You know what? This
Where's
is
the
actually
support?
not.
Yeah.
We're not asking you. We're telling you this is
It's a
something you
team
have to
event, Ray.
do.
You have to go.
Well, I was even gonna request if we can do a live one on our Twitch channel. If you'd be down to do that,
I'm down.
that'd be cool,
Yeah.
right?
It's very soothing. Like for me, I haven't had one on me. I tried. So Nicole tried to do one for everyone.
The Nicole, the therapist?
Yes.
Okay.
And it just didn't happen because I had to keep getting up. But
What
when
do you
I
mean you
do
had
it,
to keep getting up?
because we had the kids too, so my granddaughter was running around. She's like, "Okay, I'm done."
Got it.
She did a good 20 minutes, which was
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
Yeah. So she took off, so I went behind her. But in doing the bowls, it takes me she's in Rancho, so by the time I get home, I get this burst of energy,
Yeah.
and then I'm a horrible sleeper. But when I go to bed that night, I'm out
Yeah.
When you do the sound bowl.
when I do the sound bowls.
That's
Really?
awesome.
And then the other night I did 2 back-to-backs. I felt like I got hit by a bus. What? It was crazy.
That's crazy.
And I was like,
but that's good. I'm sure
yeah, it
your
was
body
good.
needs
It was
it.
beautiful.
A lot of mental. I'm like, I wonder why that happens to you. That you do the sound bowl and then
You
it's
feel like a bus hit you. That's my
Not in a
question.
bad way. So
Yeah.
what it's supposed to do is, so the chakras, you're talking about the chakras.
Yeah.
When they're blocked, it's kind of like the sound wave breaking everything up. So kind of,
Oh.
the only way I could think of it in music is, I don't know if Ray can kind of understand, but when they hit that guitar note and you're like, ooh, that's the note.
A lick.
That's what it's called.
That's what she's calling it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of licks in there. And it really does like hit. There's like some days I'll hit 3 of them. I'm like, these are the 3 that I need today. Like I could feel it. And then other days it'll be another 3 or it'll be 4 in a row. You're playing both hands. So yesterday I hit one and I just started coughing. Like, what in the world's going on here? But it's very soothing.
Now I'm down.
Thank you.
Now I'm down. I just, honestly, not for me, but I just want to see it.
Experience.
I want to see it in action. Like even if I'm.
You can't watch.
You have to experience it.
The purpose is for you to lay there and release, like literally relax, because we don't relax at all.
How long does the session last?
An hour. So it's
an hour.
like 5 minutes stretching, talking, another 45, and then 45, 50, and then just processing a little bit afterwards.
I love that. I've seen it. Have you? Because Mike and I, we play sound baths at home because how you're saying YouTube, right? But I've seen some that are hours long. Oh yeah. And
yes.
I'm wondering, like, how does the person sit there for 5 hours straight,
right?
moving their hands around and sitting in the same position? At least not that I've sat through a 5-hour session, but I'm going through it and I'm like, oh, they're really sitting there for that long.
Wait, you actually see the person sitting there for 5 hours?
No, because I haven't seen the.
Well, no, that's what it has to be an edit.
Unless it's an
like
edit.
they just add it. You just
is that what it is?
Yeah, it has to be. I mean,
look, and I'm gullible.
Well, but actually,
it could be that, but then also. My question is how do you have that much time on your hands?
Well, hold on, because if you're doing it for a living, right, and you're getting paid for this,
that's true.
Because at first I was like, that's a long time, but you guys have DJed longer than that sometimes, where you've had to long periods of time. You're standing and you're performing.
Yeah.
So it's essentially the same thing.
You're doing. So they're probably doing it straight through.
Hey,
I don't know about that. I don't know about the YouTube ones because
I think it's an edit.
Because they have it's not performance based at that point. It's just for you to have experience an audible, thing. So you want to make it as long as possible.
Yeah.
So that in between your sleep, if you're up and out, it's, continuous.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try it like after like a long ass gig.
Like we should.
That would be.
Because see, like this way, because you would have to like that would be one of the ways to be able to like really experience it, right? Because your body has to go through something in order for it to.
I'm only laughing because I see like a whole Rose City Sound sleepover. Because you guys are gonna be all
It's gonna happen. You know why? Because we have a crazy weekend this weekend, and it's gonna be a lot of energy, a lot of focus. It's just all kinds of stuff, and it'd be great to after that for all of us because we're all heavily involved to just experience that. And what's your schedule like?
Can we book you?
We want to do it, and we can go to your facility to do it. Or
you can
do
go.
Anywhere.
I can come. So the thing is, traveling for me right now is, it'd be nice to travel, but I don't know you, so I want to come back.
Yeah,
I want to be alive.
Yeah,
but for people that I know, I can come out and do it on that part.
I'm just thinking space wise because I really would. Vinny said it's a great team building thing, and he's not wrong about that.
Yeah,
and I also think that we need a Vinny drop on this too. But I also think it's a good way. I don't know, maybe I'm just making this up in my head. Like you have a specific group of people that are on a mission together, that are doing something together that in some way, maybe the energies can find a way to
connect.
Yeah. On a deeper level, because I think all of us, here have a great deeper connection, but sometimes life is boring and sometimes life gets old and sometimes you're like, okay, what's next? What's new?
So you're seeing it like a reset.
Yeah.
It's going to be something that you end up like.
And it would be, to add, it would be new to everyone. So it's a new experience that everyone can bond over, right? Yeah. I think that's what you're trying to get at too.
And you want to believe that you can elevate, right? So cool. Yeah. We were all operating under this frequency, right? All of us making moves like this. And then now, bam, now we got cleansed our little limpia with these sound bowls. Yeah. And now what do we do? And you would hope that it has, an enhanced effect on your creativity and your conversations and your genuine, connections with people.
I'm trying to figure out that burst of energy though that you were talking about.
Right.
So I was gonna just say,
so like, because that has to be like a roller coaster of like, for you, like your mindset and everything. Like because it's like say we like after a weekend like what we're about to do, right? If we go through all that and then we say, all right, this is gonna be like a reset day that we do with Anita.
Yes.
like, I wonder how that burst is gonna feel. Like, would I even have anything to let out right after? You know what I mean?
That's just for me. Everyone's different.
Oh,
so
okay.
I have people that just, I have one that I go every month. She's like, when you leave, I'm out. Like, I go to sleep. So it's different for everyone. And then too, I think where you said, where are we going? You guys are on this frequency. Like I found the pun, right? You guys are gonna be on a higher frequency.
I just got what I said right now as you repeated it.
I thought you were being sharp with it.
I know. I was like, that was a good one, Ricky. Yeah.
Oh God.
But no, it's different for everyone.
We'll edit that part out. You're right on top of it. You're good.
And then it's just the same thing. It's I don't know if Natalie can see the similarities where with yoga you have that spiritual experience, right? I don't know if you ever did it, but I cried one time doing yoga, maybe even 3 times, and I'm like, what in the hell's going on with me?
Yeah.
You cried 3 different times during 3 different sessions.
Yeah.
We just did a yoga class. Was it 2 weeks ago? I've done yoga with Natalie before. We did this. Was it aerial yoga?
Yeah. The one hanging from the.
Which was super exciting, but it made me feel very nauseous afterwards. I felt sick afterwards. It's actually a really challenging workout, but you don't realize how hard you're actually working out because you're in all these poses and you're hanging from the wall, and so it feels like it's not a lot of work. But then at the end, your body's like, wait, what just happened here?
Did to me.
It just mind fucked myself, right? So when we went to this yoga class, it was not aerial, but it was Natalie, myself, and my 2 daughters. It was the first yoga class I'd ever been in where they were playing pop music.
Yeah.
Like they were playing Rihanna, Amy Winehouse. I was singing along, and then I felt weird because I'm like, should I be focused on the pose or getting the lyrics right? Like, what's going on?
Should be singing and breathing at the same time.
But oh my God, I was full blown sweating, like hot, working out. And then the end, just like, it's like being put to bed when you're a baby. You're just, doing this. But then getting up and then going home, it's like everything kind of just went to my body and I just felt nauseous and sick. But I think we talked about maybe that's all the toxins leaving my body.
Well, that's the same thing happens with the sound bowl. You can cry. You can feel nauseous. You need to drink water afterwards because it does mess with your body.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy how we don't realize how much that plays a role in how it manifests in our body.
What? Toxicity?
The toxins that are released from sound bowls from yoga or doing all that, because for sure what you're saying about the feelings that come up, I've had a couple, and it has to do a lot with the time in your life, right? But equally the instructor, I was telling Ricky when we went to the yoga class that this particular instructor always has the right things to say to just
Oh, she had me crying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Every time I take a class with her, which I have to do it more to go to her, there's always something that she says that I'm like, this resonates. How does she know I'm feeling this?
And she has a very interesting name.
Yeah, her name's Georgelina, and she's in Upland. And she's just so, I don't know, there's this presence about her that's just so soothing and calming. And you don't get that from a lot of instructors,
So in and out, do your job, and we're gone.
Some are more mechanical. Some are just whatever energy they bring. It's not her, and I really like her.
When you mean mechanical, do you mean like technical, like in the pose, like they're focused on you doing the pose right versus okay?
Where with her, she has a message that she wants to deliver, and she delivers it very clearly.
Yeah, she did.
She hits it. So yeah. So what you said about the feelings, for sure, yoga and the sound, all of it.
Yeah, and I think it's the same with music, right? We cry, we laugh, we dance. It's all of the above. Yesterday I was in the worst mood in the world, and you guys came on, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I always hear, like, especially from Anita, and it's funny because like the set, like the chat could be interesting.
Yeah.
But as soon as Anita comes into the chat, it kind of like settles a little bit. It's like you carry that vibe though, just throughout, even
Anita's
you know what I mean?
Mediator.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. As I've even shared it on my set. Like there's times where I not want to be doing a set. Like I'm not in the mental capacity to do something like that. But at the end of the day, doing performing it the way I want to do it for the people that like to listen to what I'm doing is like a form of therapy, which is the same for like the sound baths and the yoga. Like everything is a form of meditation, depending on how you take it.
Yeah.
You just have to receive it in a positive light, right? Like you can't just, no matter what it is, because there's some people that those beds of spikes, and some people lay on it. Like I can't be relaxed on something like that.
Yeah,
but some people use that as a form of like meditation and stuff.
How do you know you can't be relaxed on that? You've done it?
It just looks intimidating.
The thought of it doesn't sound.
You know what? Because in that moment that you said that, what I thought about was tattoos, right? Draw blood from me or poke me in the butt to give me some antibiotic, I will pass out, faint, and die.
Really?
Like, I can't see needles. Like, no. But
how you tat it up, huh?
and then sitting there patiently while like it's painful. So it made me think like, I mean, I don't imagine I would be comfortable on a bed of nails, but maybe because I can tolerate a specific type of pain.
What's the most painful one that you've experienced? Have you had one where you've experienced like being able to actually hear the needle in your skin?
Oh yeah, it's the one I have on the two that I have on my fingers.
Because
I went pale. I almost passed out.
So when you saying that based off of what I said, I could imagine like laying on like a bed of spikes like that. Mm-hmm. For me, on my chest at my elbow, those ones, I could literally close my eyes, and while he was like doing his thing, I could hear and feel the rip of the skin.
Oh my God!
Like
Ray?
by the needle though, like the way the needle just goes in and out, like just
okay.
I could feel and hear it all, like just throughout that whole side. So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think I'd be able to lay on a bed of spikes. That's
well, no, not after that.
I think for me, I have a space here, but when he hit here, I felt it up here. I'm like, what in the hell?
Yeah, it's crazy how your body, like,
el cuerpo sabe.
It reacts.
It's just weird because like even on my chest, I had it. He was working on a part that was like up by my shoulder, and it felt like he was actually poking my nipple. Yeah, like. And so I'm like, yo, bro, like, but I look down, I'm like,
you're all the way over here.
Yeah, you're like, you're not even by my nipple. What the hell's going on? Like,
wrong one.
How long is that needle? But it's a trip that your body, like the nerves end up sensing that. But then it also makes sense. Like now that I see it, and I just read Riot's comment that she's been doing it because she doesn't what does it say? She's
been doing it for 2 years and doesn't do the regular medication.
Yeah, she doesn't use regular medication. I'm not a person that like tends to use regular medications.
What has she been doing for 2 years?
Sound therapy.
Oh, yeah. That's a real thing.
So how often would you recommend, and I guess because I also wanted to ask Riot this also, how long she's been doing it for 2 years, but what's the frequency in which you should go for this?
I think it just depends on the person. If you're relaxed, I mean, the point is to get you out of that negative space, right? To get you in a space where you are okay functioning throughout the day without a little anxiety, which we are going to have, right? But I think it's more of those high level, like, oh shit, I need this right now because my body's telling me like I need it, right? Like, you need to go running, you need yoga,
so
and you go to the gym. Yes.
So
and then maintenance, baby.
You that has access to this every day and can do it, how often do you find yourself doing it?
I have not done it yet.
Wait, I thought you said you did it for the 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was not enough for me to fall asleep.
Hold on.
So the full experience. So before I started, I was gonna say the name, but there's a place in Rancho.
Okay.
The salt bath.
Never heard of it.
Nicole took me to the sound bath, and I'm that person. I'm not gonna fall asleep, right? So you're literally laying in a bunch of Himalayan salt, and it's the same.
You're laying in what?
Himalayan salt, like a bunch of salt.
Really?
Yeah. And there's there's different forms of sound baths with different instruments. And then the Reiki, so they do the Reiki on you. I'm like, cool, I'm not going to fall asleep, right? I woke up like 4 times.
Yes.
So
I've done that with massages, but yes.
And it's very...
that was real.
That was my practice with the Chiquita, my eye, and
That's why I love you.
That one eye open, just a squint.
But it really, I knocked out. I was like, what in the hell?
Nice.
That was an hour long?
And that was an hour
But that
long.
was not an actual sound bath, which is what you do, right?
No, but it had incorporated different instruments that are the same equivalent to a sound bath. So you can have, it's a triangle, so you can do it from above ground, which gets closer to you. And then they have you lay there in the salt, so the salt's purifying, right? So
I want to try that too.
it's awesome. I was out like a light. Like, what in the world did you just do to me?
I haven't rested like this in 20 years.
Yeah, it was crazy. But it was nice. It felt really good.
But I mean, you have somebody that could do the sound bath for you. So I think it's very interesting that you just haven't done it.
So my theory is eye doctors wear glasses, dentists have funny looking
I don't
teeth.
disagree with you on that.
Gardeners need to cut their grass, so I'm that
Hairstylists don't
That's
cut
true.
their
Cut
own
their
hair.
hair.
Mechanics have the shittiest looking cars.
So I'm that sound bath
See?
non-taking person.
That's because you don't have time to do it for yourself.
Yeah, and that's very true.
I get it.
But I do listen to them when I go to sleep, and I knock out. I'm out. I put it on. And I'm like,
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I'm sure it's a whole different experience doing it live compared to like a YouTube. Well, I'm glad that I have you. I'm glad that we're all gonna experience
We're
you
gonna
doing
excited.
this.
Now I'm on board.
Thank you.
I just didn't want to have to like change the
Right.
wardrobe and
You're welcome.
Yeah. So how can you dress?
you can come however you want, as long. I mean, if you're comfortable in jeans. But usually,
You can't wear jeans. We're not wearing jeans.
no,
Like,
but
Anita.
I'm not saying
Not
that. But
wearing
I'm not like. I just heard bath. I'm like, I'm not gonna like.
oh no,
Like,
no.
naked. I need a robe.
Like, wait a second.
Come out all
Can I-
Hollywood with his robe and a coffee.
Nobody's trying to see that right now.
You
Let's
know what?
not-
We'll do that.
No, we're not.
So
For all the men that are
yoga
gonna join
pants,
us. No,
sweatpants, right?
Yeah.
Natalie's like, no.
I'm gonna walk out here with
'cause I'm
lonquitas.
envisioning-
That's not. No, fuck that.
I'm envisioning like
I'm a-
Ray
like a
coming in
sen-
like all hot, like yes, I'm ready for this sound bath.
Like-
he has his robe on.
Like a
Ray.
fucking senor. I'm looking like Fred Mertz on
Oh my gosh.
Which, not to transition, but I was listening to
Let's.
the was it episode 7 of the Sam and Ray podcast?
Yeah.
Did you listen to it yet?
Some of it. Some
When
of it. I'm
they're-
not done yet.
When they're in San Francisco?
I don't think I read all
I
that.
had never heard this. So that's why I don't feel bad for talking about any of this, because Ray and Sam, and Sam knows how to just very clearly paint a picture of what's going on.
Okay.
And she said that apparently you were at your hotel, right? And that Ray showed his nards to the world. I said, "What are nards? I've never heard that term."
I know. I don't think I have.
You
Yes.
guys have never heard nards?
No.
No.
I thought maybe it's
Has
just a term of
anybody ever heard
affection between the two of them. Please, if you're in the chat,
Vinny Code said Ray topless again. So there's a story.
I
to
love
that.
their relationship.
So Vinny's actually seen me topless.
Wait, Vinny?
Yeah, there was a day where it was kind of like hectic. I think it was like around Christmas time, so I had the kids home, but I was just like making sure that they had what they needed, and I was getting myself ready for my set.
Okay.
And I blanked, like I just.
Did you hit play?
I hit the start live button.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm standing there, and I'm like, I'm literally grabbing my shirt and I'm about to put it on. I'm like, oh well, Mike, I'm already on, homie. Like, it is what it is.
I'm live.
that's great though. But yeah, I was shocked. I was like, I've never heard that term. That's
Nards.
very
Nards.
strange. It was very
You're showing
strange.
your nards to the world.
Stop
to
showing
San
your nards to the
Francisco,
world.
Ray.
Look, so
You're gonna come in a robe now.
if anyone hasn't heard it, the story goes that we went to San Francisco. It was actually one of our first trips together. So we went to San Francisco, and we stayed like in this crazy ass hotel, and the hotel was right across from that one like old ass theater, and we were on the second level. But I was like, man, we were driving for a long time. I'm about to jump in the shower. I come out the shower. So while she's in the shower, I was like, man, fuck this. I'm like, I don't got to put my
Nards
clothes
out
on.
everywhere.
I'm kicking it. And I'm young, so everything's tight still. You know, like everything's bien puesto. We're not dropping
all
anywhere. You know what I
chest
mean?
Oh,
so
shit.
so then I just out of curiosity, I kind of got up from the bed and I stood over the window. And I was just like looking out, and then she comes out the shower like, bro, you're just gonna stand out there with your nards out? And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, oh shit, oh well. Like, I mean, it is.
You only live once, right?
It is
Exactly.
what it is.
We do only live once,
Yeah.
and you just gotta just go out there and do your thing.
Yeah.
And like that's it. Have a good time with everything.
Put your nards out there.
Man, those are young frequencies.
Yeah,
Those
there
are-
you go.
I was feeling the vibrations.
You listen to the universe.
Right,
You
which
did.
by the way, we keep mentioning your set. Can you tell us where we can listen to you on Twitch? What's your Twitch?
My
He
Twitch.
took a little break this week.
I did take a break only because
That's what I was mad yesterday.
Yes.
The hell?
you know what
I woke up today and I'm like, you're not gonna go on today. You get used to.
my kids' schedule. My kids are they're going on spring break, but this week is like their conference week, and so they're all out early. So usually like I'm able to go on while they're still in school and then dip out and then
Right.
go pick them up. But as early as they get out, it wasn't going to allow me that time. So I'm just like, you know what? We got a lot going on this week.
Yeah.
Let me just go ahead and I'm just
Vacations.
gonna take the break from it.
Yeah.
Plus, there's new things going on. I'm not gonna be doing it from the same spot I was doing it at. So there's also like now the new logistics of setting everything up here in Rose City. So just little things here and there. But if you guys want to catch it, Tuesday 10 a.m. and Fridays 10 a.m. And then just randomly, whenever H&R says let's put a fucking set
Yeah,
together,
everybody
then we'll
goes.
put a set together. But it's DJ Raymond _ Andrew _ on Twitch.
Subscribe. Do your thing.
Take
I
a
like when
listen.
your kids are on there. They're like in the little corner.
So I told him, I was like, when you come into the studio, bring the kids because I work from home on those days, and I was like, they can hang out
can
right here,
hang.
do their little
Family
appearance. You
affair.
need
I
to
can
do
sing
it.
that.
Yeah.
They need to make their appearance.
Wait, shh. Sing it again?
No, they're super cute. I love it.
At the end of the day, that's part of like the other thing. Like I want to make sure my kids know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, and my son gets interested because he's 11, so like Twitch and the way Twitch works now, like he knows what it is. So
He's
every now
curious.
and then he'll be like, "Hey, can I get a Twitch account?" And he wants because he does gaming, like he Roblox and all that. So it's just like I'll think about it.
He what?
He does Roblox.
What's
it's a
that?
game.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just like, you know what? I'll think about it, but at the same time, you gotta guard them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially with all these live streams when
you don't know what it is. There's no
There's no controls.
there's no control over it. You know what I mean? And I don't want him being subjected to that. He's older, but he's still young at the same time. You know what I mean? Like
it's like one of the biggest streams, like all these streams for the kids, especially like a big flag for that. And I'm going off topic here, but
No.
add me in your account, but there's 0 posts, and you have all these likes
Yeah.
and these followers. Delete, block, get rid
Yeah.
of it.
yeah.
That's a
and
no-no.
don't be hitting those links. That's how you get scammed and you lose your account.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be like,
Definitely.
I was hacked last year or 2 years ago. I don't even know how long ago it was, but yeah, it's scary. And I want to touch on Riot because I had asked her how many times she goes to the.
Here's some information.
The internet's listening. Was that you or me?
That was
Siri
you.
was
That was
is
on your watch.
always listening.
Oh, that was scary. She goes to get a sound
Riot,
bath.
I thought Riot was letting you
I
know.
know.
that
I was like,
info.
what the hell?
This is it right
Like,
here.
yo, how did that happen?
Peace. But that she said about every 2 weeks, and so that made me think. I mean, in comparison to a massage, right? So you get a massage, you do a sound bath, all these different things that you could try. I think like every 2 weeks, like bi-monthly is good for the body. Like if I could do it, if I could do
Every
it like
week?
twice a week, every week.
Oh yeah. But is that maintenance now, or is that what she did? Is that what she did before?
It
when she
sounds
barely
like
started?
this is maintenance for her, but she says if she has a bad day, she'll make a visit like 100%. And what contributes to all this stress, and Riot is mentioning that being a parent is no joke, right? And it just adds to everything. You have 2 children, right?
3.
You have 3. How old are they?
Ooh. One's gonna be 25. 27.
Hold on, are you squinting your eyes because you can't remember?
No, because
No.
she can't see.
I can't see. 25, 27, and 34.
Hold on.
Sorry, son. I think 34.
25, 27.
I'm 34.
I was just because sometimes I forget the ages of my kids, so it kind of makes me feel better that other parents.
Oh shit! Yeah, he's gonna be 34.
You almost have a 40-year-old.
I do, and I'll be 36 years in high school this year. So that's why I'm like, okay, yeah, 34.
Doing the math.
And parenting never ends.
Absolutely not.
It really doesn't. I tell Natalie all the time, I wish my kids were smaller. They were toddlers. My youngest just got her driver's license, and they're doing their lives. They're living their lives, and I miss them. And it's like, man, like I wish, but it is a never ending job. And one of the reasons why you do need to take self-care very seriously.
Absolutely. And they come back. I mean, I was just talking about you. Like, you're like, oh, you want to grow. I want you to walk. I want you to get big. My son's in that stage right now, the younger one, where his son is learning to crawl. So he's like, oh, I just want him to walk. I'm like, hold on. Like, let him enjoy the process. Because my mom would tell me, oh, don't worry about them when you have them at home because you know where they're at. You know what they're doing.
That's actually a great point.
So when they're gone, you're like, and I didn't understand that until my kids would actually leave. And I'm like, what in the hell?
Where are they?
What are you doing?
And you're worried.
Yeah.
And then you want it to go so fast, but at the same time, you end up realizing like you're not gonna get it back.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe we should just slow it down, even when they're young. Like I look at my son now, and that was one thing I've always told him, like even to this day, is like, look, man, we're both gonna fuck up. Like I'm with you. Everything that I do as a father is my first time. And everything you do, every mistake you do, that's gonna be the first time you've done it. So I gotta react a certain way, right? So I gotta let you know, like, hey, I'm not reacting this way because I don't like you. That's just my natural reaction, and we're gonna have to figure it out. That part that sucks though is now my daughter gets to experience the better side of me, and it's not because I like her more. It's just because I've been through it with him. You know
But you had this conversation with your son. You told him that.
Yeah, we talked about this.
And it's funny
time,
that you brought that up because I told my older son, to listen to that because I thought that was a really good point.
Yes.
And like of all the podcasts, that one stands out really, really, really big to me. And then the money one that just gave me anxiety, but we'll talk about that later.
Why do you think that stood out to you the most? Why did that speak to you in particular?
Because it's true. Like we don't tell our kids that, but it's being honest, right? It's being open with them to care enough to say, hey, I didn't do shit right. I'm not perfect, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But be easy on me.
Yeah, because it's important that they know that. To
a limit though, because sometimes you don't want them to use that against you though either. You don't want them to be like, man, you don't know what you're talking about, because they could be right. But at the same time, you're a father figure, and you still got to have some type of authority over it. But when you fuck up, you got to be honest. Be like, look, I didn't react that way. That's like one thing that I look at, and I reiterate a lot of things with my son, and it might be guilt, but it also goes back to like mental health. Okay. Right? Like I don't want my son to grow up thinking or imagining a scenario that went down between me and him just coming to his own conclusion about it, which could lead to something that's not good, right? In the thought process. Like, my dad used to do this because of this and that. Because if I never sat down and give him the explanation to why he did what I did, whether I was wrong or right for doing it, he could come up with his own scenario of it, and most of the time it's probably not a good thought process.
But he's holding on to that narrative now.
And he's holding on to it. So that's why a lot of times this is like, look, I had to spank you when I had to spank you, and I don't like it, but I have to. There's like, we've exhausted every avenue to get you to understand something, and now we're at this point. Do you get what I'm like? Why I'm trying to get your attention? You know, like things like that, where it's just like, I don't want my kid growing up and hating life, right? Because he feels like I didn't raise him the way he was supposed to be raised.
And that just comes back to 3 words, right? We don't say anything. I'm going to tell you what to do, and you trust the adult, and the adult's always right. You know, that's how we grew up, right?
So that was my point with that. Like, I think the reason why it spoke to me is because I thought, man, I wonder what my experience would have been like if my parents would have been that transparent and been like, yo, like, I'm sorry, this is new to me. I'm doing my best, you know, and to have, but that's just not that's not the generations we come from. It's like you're saying. Yeah,
and it comes back to those 3 words. Honest, open communication. You don't got to tell them everything. You just got to be honest with them. Yeah. Because they read through the bullshit too, right?
And it's important. You got to let them be honest with you.
And even if you don't like it.
Yeah,
respectful.
Because one thing that I always tell, like actually today, like one of his friends And her mom, like, I'm sitting in the car waiting for him to walk to the car, and he comes to the car, but then this lady, like, knocks on my window while he's trying to open the door. And she was like, "Can I speak to you for a second?" I said, "About what?" She said, "Well, my daughter and your son are friends." She's telling me all this in Spanish. And apparently my son called her a fancy bitch. Right? But he didn't mean, so you
you said who, and I'm like,
so look,
I kind of liked it, and then I was like, oh, but it's offensive. Like,
but this is what she's saying that he said, right? I don't know if it's true or not. But just based off of your reaction, that was a compliment, right?
yeah.
So
like,
you guys were like,
okay.
"Oh, that's."
but for me, I'm like, wait a minute, because
I went on the
yeah,
same page.
yeah. But see, and that's the other thing that I had to explain to him. I said, "Look, one, she doesn't speak English, so there's a communication barrier in understanding that just because someone said the word bitch doesn't mean it's necessarily a derogatory form of it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of women, especially now, when you guys talk to your girlfriends, it's like, "Bitch, you crazy." Like, it's just like a form of saying the word without any meaning towards it, right? So
Words of endearment.
I ended up like having to tell him. I said, "Look, I get maybe like those are your homies and you're just being funny in the moment." I was like, "But sometimes you just got to shut up. You don't have to say everything that you're thinking. Just if you wanted to," because what happened was he was complimenting homegirl and was like, "Hey, yeah, your mom like is like," according to him, the kids were having a conversation about them knowing who their parents were, like each other's parents. Like, I know what Anita's mom looks like, and I know what Natalie's mom looks like stuff like that, right? Yeah. So my son, it got to my son saying, "Oh yeah, I know who your mom is. She always has like her hair curled up and all that, like a fancy bitch." Like,
and he was doing
it like in a compliment.
And here's the thing. I think you guys initially were like, "Oh, right." Because again, we associate that word in a certain way. Young people now, that's a term.
It's
common.
That's how they talk.
Yeah.
I'm taking it as a compliment just because I have to hear my kids say that shit all the time. And
it's
I'm
like back then we used to always say, "What's up, fool?"
Yeah.
But our parents were like, "Don't be calling each other fools. That's not cool." Like, so it was one of those things where I had to tell them, like, "Look, I'm not mad at you," because I was like, I did tell him, I said, "What I am pissed about is that I'm minding my own business and someone that I don't know is interrupting my peace. She does not need to knock on my door to tell me that you said something. So do me a favor. From now on, think before you speak so that I don't have someone else's parents knocking on my door trying to have a conversation." Because at the end of it, I figured out she just didn't understand
the context in which it was said.
Yeah, the context. And
which goes back to what you were saying, honest communication.
And then understanding, like, hey, like there's an Spanish barrier. He wasn't calling you.
Just don't say it in Spanish.
Yeah, he didn't call you a perra, homie. Like, he called you.
he didn't call you a zorra. That's my favorite. Zorra.
Yeah.
But it was one of those conversations. It's like, look, you're not in trouble because of that, but don't lie to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that
Don't
part.
let me find out that you're lying to me. Because if you made a mistake, we're gonna fix it. If not,
and that's open, honest communication. It's having like, you can come tell me how you feel, but do it with respect, right? Because if we teach our kids they don't have a voice, then at school they're going to be quiet if a teacher's messing with them. If an adult's messing with them, like my mom said, adults are always right. So they're not always right, right? And the part where you said, like, do they like me or not? Like, I had the biggest epiphany with my oldest son. He's like, I don't have to like you. I love you, but I have to like you all the time. I'm like, what in the hell did you do? Like, coming back to how we're raised. I'm like, who in the hell? But then I'm like, wait a minute. Like, he's right. You're right.
So, Ricky, for those who can't see, like, the gestures that we do when you guys listen to this.
If we had a Ray cam.
When Anita was saying that, Ricky kept pointing towards me. But that was because yesterday on the ride home.
Literally yesterday.
It's probably this morning, really. Technically this morning.
Actually, it was when we were pulling up to O'Donovan's because we were in the parking lot.
Okay. So yeah, last night we were talking about how my mom raised us. Well, not necessarily how my mom raised us, but just in general, like how my mom would speak to us. And I said, there's a difference between like and love. And I learned that from my mom. My mom was always going to love me, but doesn't mean she's always going to like me. And Ricky was just like, what does that mean?
My mouth dry. I was like,
she was like, why? And why would she even say that? One, again, it goes to what Anita's saying. It's just the open and honest. Like, you gotta be that way. And I guess because my mom was that way, that's why I am the way I am with my son. And that's why in times where I feel down on myself, I give myself a limit to how far I'm gonna let that settle and dwell upon, right? Because then it's just like, all right, get up and go. And that's the same reason. I don't want my son to dwell on the past. I want him to feel the pain, cry it out, do what you got to do, and get your ass up and let's move it.
Yeah.
Because you can't sit there and dwell on everything that has happened in your past. One way for me to understand of attacking that now is by just communicating with him and letting him know, like, I fucked up as a parent, or you're fucking up as a child. But let them know, like, the levels to it, and just be, again, honest. Because if you're not, they're not going to trust what you're going to say, and there's going to be a fear. There's already a fear because
you're there,
yeah, my son's already like, I don't want to tell you because, like, if he likes a girl, he's not going to tell me because he doesn't want me to know. But I'm like, I'm not going to fuck with you, bro.
But a little bit of fear is okay.
No, a little bit of fear is fine, but you also have to, like, when those hard times come, and it's just like, man, I really have to fucking be, like, if I'm really going to be upset about something he's going to tell me, I can't take it to that extreme because I told him to be honest with me.
Right. Check your feelings.
Yeah, like, so I had to be a man of my word and say, okay, like, I'm upset about it. Now let's fix it.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of people forget or say, you know, we're raising our kids. We're not raising kids. We're raising young adults.
Amen.
To go into the world. And if you're teaching them this that young,
Yeah.
they're going to go out and do the same thing.
That's one thing that I tell Samantha, like, we raise our children to be adults, not adults how to not be children.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the problems are. When adults become adults and they're still doing childish shit, they get offended and there's no accountability for their actions because they never had that type of discipline when they were younger.
Yeah.
So it's just
which
like,
now leaks into your adult.
Yeah.
So now it's just like, hey, I gotta. How dare you tell me that I was wrong for doing that? I'm 35 years old. I could do what I want. No, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't do what you want. You gotta. There has to be a code.
You can't.
Natalie's like, oh shit.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, I always just reflect on the way that I treated my mom as a teenager and young adult, and now I think like, well, I don't want to do that because I don't want that to come back, you know, now as a parent.
But it will.
Wait, what do you mean?
Oh,
you
I'm
don't
sure
wanna,
it'll
what do you mean you
manifest
don't
in
wanna do
different
that?
ways. But just the
like what your mom did, how
with
she treated you.
how we're saying that there was no communication and the authority figure, and you don't question me, and there was no vulnerability, there was no, hey, I'm gonna fuck up, and it was always like, no, you do what I say and don't question what I'm telling you, and I'm disciplining you for whatever reasons, and we're not gonna talk about that or question it either.
Dumbest thing, you're like in
Yeah.
trouble. You're like,
Yeah, and then you grow up and you're like, why am I holding on to all of this pain? And then you kind of reflect and realize like,
in yoga.
Yeah.
and you realize
You're
like,
just like desperate for anything.
So now I'm taking all of my own experiences, and you know, when the time comes, I do want to have an open communication with my child or my children, right? Because I want to make his experience better for his own sake.
I almost think there's a prerequisite to that. And I think that's having an honest and open communication with your spouse, right? Like your partner who you're raising this child with, right?
Exactly.
Because I think, and to go back to that same episode 7 from the Sam and Ray podcast, there's a part in the episode where Ray and Sam are talking about their depression and about how Ray didn't necessarily
communicate. I did listen to that part.
He didn't like want to share or didn't share, and she didn't know that. And I think that oftentimes, and what, like, before you want to communicate greatly with your kid,
right,
if you're not practicing that with yourselves, it's really hard,
right? Because what is he gonna see?
Yeah. And so it's being able to be vulnerable with your partner, because now that made me wonder, like, and have you thought like, hey, has Mike gone through anything that I'm not aware of, or that he hasn't shared with me because, you know, he thinks that he can't? And it goes the same with your husband, right? Like, are you fully aware of what he's really gone through? Vice versa, right? Because I think women, we do communicate, sometimes even over-communicate.
Sorry.
Bold letters.
I'm not
bold letters on cardboard. Like, we're letting you know, like, I'm dying here.
Yeah.
But it's not so much with men. What do you guys think about that part? Do you think that the men in your lives have really been honest and open with how they feel?
Yes. For me, yes.
Yes, to a certain point, because I think it comes back to, I wasn't raised like that. I can't, like, because then that I'm not gonna give you the whole right? The whole is going to be like, well, you're going to look at me different. Because if you haven't talked about that at the beginning,
it's hard to bring it up.
5, 10, 30 some years, you're like, oh, hell no. Like, what are we talking about here, right? So I think it's important, like right now, super important is when you're dating, find that mental health question, right? Not like, oh, do you have depression or, oh, do you have anxiety? But like, find your family history. Find out what they're like. What is that?
Their family history or your own?
Like,
well, both.
Both. Because you can bring it up, like, right, if you're going to date somebody, you know,
that's very interesting.
are you close with your family? You know, do you guys hang out? Do you guys have family time together? That tells you a lot.
Well, that was one of Natalie's, what she valued in a spouse, right? Was what is your relationship with your mother and your sister? And then like, how's your family? How's your family? And I love that was an important thing. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. But the mental health question is an interesting one to bring up when you're dating someone, because it is a very personal question. And how would you even bring that up?
Well, in that way, because if you're like, oh, how's your family? And you're like, well, I'll talk about my family.
And that'll tell you a lot.
What's going on, right?
Yeah.
Or if you're like, no, I don't talk to my family. I hang out by myself. Then there's more that you need to know. To uncover.
So I want to ask you, because your son's like 3-4 years younger than I am. So
listen to me, Ray.
So, I am your mother.
So I know I'm going to stop calling you hermana and start calling you tia. Like,
I knew I was a tia.
Tia Anita.
Nah, we're hermana still. But so, because my question is, and this goes to what Ricky was referring to, because in that episode I told Samantha, because she said, like, that was my wife's first time hearing that I was going through the depression, that she was going through the depression. But the reason why I never told her why I was going through that was because I was trying to figure out how to help her with hers. And that goes to the conditioning of how we're raised, right? So it's like, you're a man. You don't have time to fucking sit there and pity yourself. Like, you have to get up and take care of your fucking family. So in that time, it was me making sure my wife was good, because especially during the circumstances that we were in, I needed to make sure that she was okay. So there was those sleepless nights of me trying to figure out, like, what is this? Because the anxiety and all that shit, it's no joke. Like, I got everything that she was telling me. I did understand it. It was hard for me to let her know that I understood it. And even more so because I was going through it. So there was that conflict of like, you're not listening. Like, oh, you don't get what it's, or you don't know what it's like.
Like, oh,
meanwhile, I do know what it's like, but I can't tell you that I know what it's like because I'm going through it now. And it could end up being like we both end up putting up our shield, right?
Like, oh, man, I can't tell her how I'm feeling. I gotta listen.
Yeah.
All that good stuff right in the back of your head.
Because at the end of the day, like, I always tell my son, you gotta, no matter what relationship you're in, you got to take care of your family, right? Whether it's a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, and even if you guys don't plan on getting married, you have to be an example for these women to know that there's still good men out there. So you have to always be respectful. You always have to, if your relationship doesn't work with someone, at the end of the day, they could look back at you and not have any form of animosity towards you because you were always like on point with your shit, and it was just your relationship just didn't fucking work out. So it goes to that, like, understanding that you have to be a man. You have to be able to take care of what you have to take care of first. And then I'm going to sit down and reflect on myself.
Isn't that the opposite of self-care?
That's the opposite of self-care. And that's going back to why don't women have time to do it? Why don't I do a sound bath, right? It's when you put that pressure on yourself to do everything. And then you're putting that pressure to say, hey, you have to take care of your family. No, you don't have to. You have to do it together. Because when you do it together is when you can say, hey, I get what you're going through because we're going to do it together. And I have your back, you have mine, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I know people that have been going through stuff and they had that same mentality. And all they would say was, shit, I should have just said something. We could have probably fixed
Afterwards.
it. Afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's important to take out that have to, because you're putting some kind of pressure on him to say, I gotta be good first. They have to be good first before I take care of myself. But you can't give out of an empty cup, right?
Yeah.
And you can't give somebody something that you don't have, because at the end of the day, we always use the if the airplane's coming down and you got the
the oxygen mask. Yeah,
who do you give
put
it
on
to first? Your kid or you, right?
You gotta put it on yourself first.
Yeah, that's
so
a great example.
A lot of people say my kid. Well,
Nope.
if you're giving it to your kid, another way of looking at it is I learned if you're a firefighter, right? Ray, you're a firefighter in your house. What do you need to do first to save your family?
That's actually a really good question that I don't know the answer
I gotta
to.
put on my fire suit, make sure I don't get burnt.
So you need your gear,
Yeah.
and the gear that you need that you just talked about is what? Your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, all of that. So it's important that you do that. We don't teach our kids that part, and that part is the important part because
That's one thing I wish that they had in schools.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
That and financial literacy,
Yes.
self-care, mental and financial literacy. That
Yes.
those would have been
Well, I guess that's why
great courses.
That's why schools are government institutions.
Yes.
And the government institutions only going to teach you what the government wants you. Well, we could go down that path.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
another
that's-
day.
we'll go into that later.
But I did want to ask you, Anita. So how long have you worked in mental health?
over 8 years.
Over 8 years.
Yeah.
Did you ever see yourself going into this path?
No,
What did you originally
I
set out to
didn't.
do?
I didn't.
But what were you doing before? Or like, what is it that you wanted to do before you ended up where you were at?
All I knew is I liked hanging out with kids, like hanging out, making sure that they needed what they needed. Like, just my house is the house, right? To
Got
go
it.
to. But so little backstory is I graduated with my son being 8 months old. So I was a statistic, right? But I was like, okay, I'm not going to be another one. So then every time I tried to go back, I got pregnant with my second one. Okay, that ain't going to work. So finally, when I did go back, it took me 13 years to finish because I lived life in between. But it was more of an example to teach that no matter what, you get your ass back and finish, right? But then in that, I figured out like, hey, well, let's go into this, and ended up in sociology, which was like very interesting. So I was like, and it just made sense. So that's where Nicole came in, right?
The
She's like, come work with me, come work with me. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I was scared. I was like, no. But then it ended up working out just fine. And that was the end of that.
And I think it's great because your energy, you're a natural advocate for people. Whether you know them or not, you do the right thing and you just have that very compassionate energy. So it was the path that you had to take, right? Like that's whether you knew or you didn't know, you knew what you kind of liked or what felt right. And then you ended up here. Because I do admire your advocacy. Like I said, you want people to be better, to do better, and your work represents that, right? Like you're
Thank you.
an active participant.
Selfless act.
Yes.
That you do.
Thank you.
Yes. Are you gonna ask the inner child question?
Oh,
That's
that wasn't even in my.
That's why I thought you popped your phone out.
That's a good. You know what? That's a good staple.
I
on this
know.
frequency.
I know, and we always forget. I sent Ray and Natalie a video earlier this week of some lady who was trying to write out a prize. She was trying to write something out, and everybody was trying to tell her how to spell it out.
Oh yeah.
And she, for the life of her, could not. They're literally telling her A, B, C, and she could not
She
do
was
it.
doing 1, 2, 3 instead.
That pressure.
It was bad, and I was like, "Oh my god, this feels like me and Natalie sometimes because." it's
Ricky
like
is
we've
carrying
lost-
me these days. She's carrying the load.
But you've carried me at
You
other
can't tell,
other
but
times
you can
as
tell
well.
you guys are there.
We're here.
You're there together.
But that's how the like any type of relationship
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
We go back like no relationship is ever 50-50.
No,
No,
it's
Uh,
not.
you
It's
got 100.
impossible. That's impossible.
As long as you make it to 100, you're good.
Yeah.
Maybe a little extra credit too, you know.
Can't half-ass anything
Yeah.
because
I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Truly. Because it's hard sometimes, Like I would have not. I was gonna go somewhere completely different, but now we're gonna get no.
Are you sure?
Irrelevant. When was the first time you fell in love?
ooh, I would say my husband.
Yeah.
And then after I had my kids is the second, third, fourth time.
So you
Fell
fell
in
in
love
love
all
with your
over
kids?
again.
Oh yeah, it's just a different love.
Yeah.
But I was like, I like him.
So for the record, and to go back to what you were saying about the liking and the loving thing, right? I understood the liking and the loving thing part when it came to like relationships and people.
Yeah.
I love you, but I don't really like you, but my honor is there with the love part of it. So I understood it there. But when Ray told me about like with kids, I was like, I I didn't know I could not like my kids.
Uh,
For some reason, that just didn't register with me. I felt this responsibility to look at these little people like my little masterpieces and like this. I have to like them. Hell no. So after he said that, I was like, oh,
I don't like
not
you
like
today.
you. No, you're out.
Don't go having another one just so you can relive that.
No. So I think to my point, I think it's really important that you ended with, I liked him. Like, I really like him. Because that's what's going to carry, I think, a relationship way longer than love.
Yeah.
Well, it's similar to relationships when you love someone and you're in love with somebody. Like there's levels to it. Yeah. There's always the communication is so strong to where either you write it or you say it verbally, and how you do both and the words you choose to express make the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Right? Like I could tell you shut the fuck up without telling you to shut the fuck up.
Just with a look.
Ray just gave me the look while he said it too.
No. My bad.
just teasing.
All that shit you were talking. Not but you get what I'm saying? Like there's
words are important.
There's ways of going about it, and that's why so many people tend to manipulate words. Because you could go about saying something and be like, well, that's not technically what I said, and then you're just like.
But then there's perception.
There is, and that's the other thing.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, there's what is it called? Like you see one thing and I see another, but we're not wrong. But then there's the right? So like, what color is the wall? I'm sitting here like maybe a light blue gray, where you're like it's white. It's because you see it that way, and it doesn't mean I'm wrong. It's just what you see. So
Your perception.
Your perception of it. So if I put a W in front of you, you see the what?
That's an M.
And if I flip it around,
It's a W.
But are we wrong?
No.
It's just how we see stuff.
Well,
I saw a 3.
Well,
You saw both sides, right?
well, that
three.
goes that goes back to how we were telling Ricky last time, like truths. Like there's your truth, their truth, and the truth. So no matter how I tell you something, like that's why like it's funny when Cat Williams tells people like how can you say I'm the reason for your low self-esteem when it's esteem of your fucking self? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I may have done and said some things, but that's your perception of it, how you went about going. Like, you could talk shit to two people, and one's gonna be more offended than the other, right?
Yeah.
But it's
one's not gonna give a shit, and then the other one's gonna get in her head, believe everything that person says, and then suspend their life forever.
Why does that have to be a her?
Because it's me. It was me, and I'm trying to, get past that. But that's 100%. That's 100%.
But I think you just come like I'm a firm believer. There's like two people in the world. You're gonna dwell on what happened, and you're gonna just linger on that forever, or you're gonna like fuck that. I'm gonna do something with this, and I'm gonna make it better.
Have to.
Yeah.
Is it possible to live in both worlds?
No.
You can. But to the sense of one's always going to take over the other. You can try. You're like, I'm in it. And then you're like, oh, no, back to this.
But then when you do that, though, all you're doing is prolonging like an experience that you really don't enjoy.
Yeah.
Yes. I asked that because I am in my head a lot. Like, it's this whole evil twin that I have inside of me that is so negative, and it's just, it's paralyzing, right? But I think if somebody were able to have an out-of-body experience with me and like see how I was with myself and thought with myself, they would also say, but how the hell have you done everything that you've done if you think that way and you are that way? Does that make sense? Like, they're literally polar opposites of one another.
So maybe a perception of what you want someone to see, because that's what you want, but you're not.
You use them against each other by masking them. So you while you're going through one scenario, you're masking it with a totally different type of situation, so that other people don't see the scenario that you don't want them to see. So
I think for a crappy way of like visualizing it is Robin Williams, right? You have this perception of happiness, and there's like, yeah, Ricky's doing all this cool, awesome stuff for everybody, right?
Or it's like social media.
Yeah,
social media is like the biggest
false reality.
Yeah, because it's like, let me show you what I'm doing. Let me show you that I'm doing great but behind the closed doors,
My life is falling apart.
we lost a homie Twitch.
Yeah, that's a big one too.
God, that's
a
right.
really big one.
Like he literally did a TikTok the night before he
With
committed.
his wife dancing.
Did he commit suicide?
With the wife dancing?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, with his wife and
Yeah.
kids, I think.
Yeah.
And
He did. He shot himself.
And the sad part is, I think he did it to an Alicia Keys song, right?
What?
That I
Wait,
don't
whoa,
know.
whoa, 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 whoa,
Oh,
whoa,
I don't know
whoa.
all that.
No, he didn't. No,
the
he,
video
the
with his
video.
kids?
Yeah, no, not
I was
the.
like, what? He
I
killed
know.
himself to Alicia?
The video that he danced with, I think it was one of Alicia Keys' new like Christmas songs.
Oh.
So it's like it's a Christmas song. You're like, oh man, he's living life. A beautiful wife, beautiful children. They're just living their life. And the next day that happens. You don't. So that false reality, like
That's
it's
like
just
that visual that you can only give yourself. Like that's the visual. This is what you want, but this is what I'm doing back here that nobody knows.
And also because you don't want people to give you that attention. You don't want people to give you that poor
Pity
Ricky.
party.
Like, oh, poor Ricky, she's going through this and that. Because then every time you see people, that would like whatever they see you going through, that's going to be the topic of discussion every time you see people. So if you show people your vulnerability and they see it, every time they see, how are you doing?
And that's why people don't show it.
And yeah, because it's like after a while, like I want to get over it.
Yeah.
Stop asking me about it.
Yeah. I don't
Because you
wanna
can
live in my
do 10
pity.
things right? But you do one shitty thing, forget the 10 things because
Yeah.
they're just gonna dwell on that one shitty thing.
That's true.
I like that. That was a lot to think about. What was the second question?
When was the last time you cried?
How right before I came? No, just kidding.
Wait.
I mean, if
I
you
was
did,
just
tell
kidding.
us.
No,
Ricky was about to be like, me
I
too.
did. I was like,
Ricky scared me this morning when she texted me.
I've been crying since last night. But no, but I do want to thank you for coming in because I did hit you up this morning,
this
and
is
we've been
awesome.
talking about everything
Coming
that you've done, and not just being a huge supporter, but your advocacy. So sorry, last time you cried.
That was awesome though. Yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that recent?
Yeah. Probably like last week.
What feelings came up?
I don't know. That's the thing. You're just sitting there. You're like,
And then it just comes out.
yeah. And then it's like, what really happened, right? Because I think it's that release of not thinking.
And the
You know what?
toxins.
I'm really glad that you said that because I've definitely had moments where I'm in tears and I have no idea why I'm crying.
Wait, that makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, and that's never made sense to me. Like, why am I actually crying? But it's a release.
Yeah.
And
Wait, okay, so this is what I'm picturing in my head. You're in a yoga class, okay? And this yoga instructor
Well, I'm at home.
you're at home.
Yeah.
You're doing yoga at home. Like you're just doing the poses on your own?
No, I'm watching
like
YouTube.
a guided.
Okay, so you're doing the guided meditations. Is your mind fixated on the poses and making sure that you do everything correct? You're not thinking about anything?
No, I think for me it's the breathing right now.
Oh.
I'm fixated on the breathing because when I tell you, breathing got me through a lot of stuff. Personally, you know.
Hold on. I want you to talk a little bit more about this. She just said, breathing got me through a lot of stuff. Breathing is the reason we're alive, right? Mm-hmm. Like,
Oh yeah.
we have to breathe to live.
And if you don't do it right,
You're
you
gonna
were saying
die.
that, yeah.
You're gonna die. But that's actually really fucking profound what you just said because it's like we take breathing for granted, right?
Oh,
Or we're
Yeah.
just doing this like subconscious breathing. Amy, who's in here, we have had so many conversations about. We'll send each other messages. Have you stopped to take a breath, a conscious
Yeah.
breath today?
Yeah.
Because you're just like on autopilot and you're like,
Yeah.
like not even always bracing yourself, but to really breathe. So if I'm understanding this correctly, the fact that you gave yourself a moment to actually breathe and maybe do some profound breathing is what triggered your emotions?
I think so because when during yoga you're meditating, right? Yeah, you think of the poses, right? I don't want to fall, I want to balance, but it's more keeping the breath going. And it's when the yoga was over that you're just laying there and you're like,
I'm just gonna release all
just
these
let it out, and it
tears.
just came out. It's weird.
See, I can't imagine that because there's always a reason that I'm thinking in my head. I'm never unconsciously crying. I've never found myself unconsciously crying.
maybe because you haven't cleared your mind.
Yeah, it's not bad.
what it is.
Oh, well, that's gotta be a bad cry then.
well, like
Here.
our discussion yesterday on the way home is part of the reason why I ended up posting what I posted on my Instagram earlier, where I asked like, when's the last time you stripped yourself down?
Be
And
That was
honest.
good.
you just
That was your post. When's the last time you stripped yourself down?
Yeah, and you allowed yourself to be you, like no fronts, no nothing, like nothing.
Why are you laughing, Natalie?
San Francisco.
Oh my Natalie!
Great.
What is the word?
It's never gonna come out. Never gonna end.
So he's talking about this deep ass. When was the last time you were able to freely be yourself?
Oh, you said strip
His
down.
nards come to your mind in front of a window in San Francisco.
You said strip down something. Oh, there goes the nerds again.
You're not wrong. Like Anita was saying, both perspectives are right.
That's Samantha's fault. Nobody would have known this fucking story if my wife would have.
I love her
fucking put it out
personality.
there.
I haven't even met her, but that's awesome.
But it's one of those things, right? Like we get so caught up in worrying about what the world or people in our world, because we could take it back to perspective, right? Our world, as individuals, the people around you, you get so caught up in worrying about what they think, when in actuality they don't think that much about you, and not in a negative sense, but to the point where you're giving yourself anxiety, to the point where you're doing things. You're doing things that aren't sufficient to your living, and you're being extra. You're doing things that you shouldn't have to do because you want to look like you're okay. So when is the last time you stripped yourself down and just let you be you?
Yeah.
And honest with yourself.
And I have 1,000 questions about that. Like, because in order for me, and that's kind of what I was realizing last night, for me to feel like me or for me to feel safe, like I've never known that. Like I'm trying to figure that out now. Like where is there a good safe space? But we've had a common saying on this frequency this season that no one fucking cares. No one cares.
They don't.
Right? But in my head, whatever it is I'm doing, I'm thinking that everybody in the room is like, who the fuck is this person? They suck. Or I'm thinking everybody is fixated on the fact that I'm doing something wrong. Or I could be doing something better. That is so irrational. But that's what I'm thinking in my head. And it disables my performance in anything. Completely disables. And that's what we were talking about. You know, man, what it would be like to be free and to just errors and all.
Yeah.
You know, and not worry about what anybody thinks. Because like we talked about earlier, we only live once. Fuck it. You just got to live.
Yeah. Yeah, I could relate that. I used to live in this world where I thought about, oh my God, what are they going to say? What is everybody going to think about how I'm dressed, how I perceive myself, how I speak, my opinions about X, Y, and Z. And it wasn't until I read the book that I let you borrow, Finding Your North Star, Your Compass, or whatever.
Yeah. Which I still haven't read.
And you got to read it because there's a part in there that talks about who is everybody? Who is everybody in your life that you are just so concerned about?
That's a great question. So who is everybody for you?
My mom, my dad, sister, husband. That's everybody.
Do you have an everybody?
I would say my kids.
Oh, really?
Well, sorry. My grandkids.
Yeah. I would have never... Wait, has it always been that way?
Since I've had them for a very long time, so yeah.
That's interesting because I'm a mom and I've never had my kids in my head in that regard. So what I'm saying is like...
For me, it's my parents.
It's your parents. So I imagine myself last night, I'm with Ray and Hector and I'm DJing. I have everybody who's there in my head. Mm-hmm. I'm hearing their voices and then my parents' voices. Mm-hmm. I have both. Mm. But I never thought about my kids, which makes sense because they're your kids and you know, I guess everything I do is for my kids, for their benefit, and I want to make sure that they're proud of me and all of this stuff. But I didn't think about it that way. That's interesting.
But I think you do. Sorry.
Unconsciously.
Because you have that, what am I leaving behind?
Yes.
Kind of thing. I was really listening to you guys where this is what you're leaving for them to come back and look at.
Mm-hmm. So let me tell you what is challenging about that, right? I looked at the last 15 years of my life where it's just like work, 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 because that's what I'm thinking. I want to leave my kids something. Actually, no, I guess I do have my kids all in my head all the time. but unconsciously, because I'm doing it for them. Everything I'm doing is for them.
Did you ever think that maybe, like, because you just said that you never thought that it would, like, you it's not your kids that you think are going to tell you like you're not good enough,
right?
Maybe it's because you know that they don't think that about you.
I know that they don't think that about me, but in a different way, like when I did have kind of like my meltdown and everything stopped, I realized that they were like, "Hey, we miss you. Like, thanks for working so hard, and thanks for doing all of this, but we wish you'd have been around a little bit more."
Well, it goes back to nobody cares.
Right.
They don't care.
No one gives a shit.
They don't care.
They're not thinking that
about the platform that you're building.
Yeah.
They don't care about the amount of work that you're doing and what you're trying to do for a community.
Yeah.
They're worried about what you're doing for them. So at that point, it's like, well, good job, Mom. You're at the stadium and you're doing this and you're filling these spaces in these people's lives. Come home so you could do that with us now.
exactly.
That's funny that you say that because I watched, I think it was TikTok. There was a guy that's a very famous, I can't remember his name, but famous chef.
Okay.
And he's like, as soon as I get home, I put my phone in airplane mode because he has kids. He's like, those kids don't give a shit who's calling you, what food you're making, where you're going, where you're at.
Nope.
All they know is they want mom and dad. That's it.
I mentioned to you that I went to a conference this last week on children's education. I lost my shit in the middle of this crying because they showed a video of how much attention children need, toddlers, infants, right? And they show a little, I don't know, he couldn't have been a year old. And the dad's interacting with him and it's engaging and you can see how beautiful, distraction-free that interaction happens.
Yeah.
And then the dad gets on the phone. And they're doing this to show you an example, right? This kid immediately is like grasping, like trying to get his attention, trying to take the phone away. This shit was so heartbreaking. Like, and I would just in that small example, man, I just ran through all the times in my head where my kids are trying to talk to me. And I'm like, what? Hold on. I got to do this really quick. But how those moments at that age, and I think that's why I would not want to be a mother now, because technology is at your fingertips and there's so many distractions now. I mean, my oldest is 22. We had cell phones were just barely not.
Girl, I had a brick cell phone, so let's keep
Okay,
going.
yeah, right. I was like, they were barely coming
big
out.
old-
The year I got pregnant with him, I went from a pager to a phone, a cell phone, like trying it, right?
Your screen was a green light.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. So it was very different, you know? And now I feel you guys just have everything like
It's really hard.
against you.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Even so I try my best to not be on my phone whenever I'm being present, right, with DeLuca. So my phone's somewhere else. That's why I take forever to text back sometimes. Because he's really smart. He knows. And so
he knows
to
the phone.
put that into play, right? The remote control, he knows that the remote control turns on the TV, and he'll grab the remote, he starts pushing the button.
What?
And then he looks up.
No.
And then he pushes
Well,
the
yeah,
button.
that makes
Mirror.
sense.
And then he looks, and then he realized, oh, these buttons are
Control
doing
that.
something to the TV. So I could only imagine, and it makes sense when people say, oh yeah, my 2-year-old knows how to use a phone. Oh, well, duh, you only need to give them 2 minutes to interact with it, and they can do whatever they need to do. And now they're raising themselves
Which
on
is
TikTok.
why it amazes me when adults say I can't do something.
Yeah.
Wait,
right.
whoa. What do you
Que no
Right.
quieren.
When adults say, "Oh, I can't figure it out," yeah, you can.
Yes. You have to have the desire.
Because a human that has been on this earth for less than a year, or no, he's a year now, huh?
No, he's
No.
only 9 months.
Right. I
Oh,
thought he
damn
was
it.
6 months. Now he's like, he's 9 months.
So
Yeah.
a human that has been on this earth for less than a year can figure out that a remote operates a TV.
You're not wrong.
And you're going to tell me that an adult can't figure out how to put gas in a car, air in a
Right.
tire. It's not.
How to
Porque no
upload a video.
It goes
on
back to what
YouTube.
you kept telling me yesterday. Want and will.
Oh, are you capable? Wait, what is it? Are you unwilling or incapable of change?
That's why we always have these conversations at home. It's like we're arguing, but we're not. And I think it comes back to teaching as well. We forget to teach our kids. We forget to like fix the tire, change the oil.
Basics.
But when they don't and they're already an adult, well, just YouTube it. You should already know how. But and then if the daughter doesn't know how to cook, well, your mom didn't show you. Right? we have these conversations, but just knowing all those things that they're learning. So for him, he's so super young. Let him know what the phone is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also you're gonna model, okay, hey, mommy's putting her phone away because we're gonna have time, and he's gonna get used to knowing I need to put my phone away.
Yeah,
I have to put my phone away.
Yeah, because it's inevitable at this point.
It is inevitable.
It's not a bad thing because technology is gonna take over, right?
Yeah,
but it's just showing them dinner time. We don't use our phone, and he's that small to know. Okay, we're put phone away, and we're gonna do this.
Yeah, they're so observant.
So those are very important things to teach them.
They know.
You had one more question.
Yes.
My favorite one.
What have you told your inner child lately?
To be.
Oof.
Yeah. I think just trying to grow up so much, so fast, and having, single mom and not having that childlike time. Just do it. Just do it.
Do you mind if I ask questions about that?
No.
So, so you didn't have time to be a child?
I did, but to a certain point, my mom was a single mom. So, you had to help out. You had to go and do things and be that person for them.
You become very independent really fast.
So that other conversation, when you're put in a position to have to always defend yourself or to provide or to be something, then you forget about the feminine side. And I
remember that when Ray told me that I think like a man.
Then you have to, because you're always, and it's funny you said that, because we're doing, we're throwing out files from old clients that have to be recycled. So I picked up 2 boxes, and my office manager was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm the mom that doesn't go back for the groceries, because my mom always taught me, if you're gonna do it, just do it. You don't need nobody to help you. Just get your ass up and go do it." So it's that mentality that you have, that's the masculine side, right? Like, my husband like, come on, and then I'm like, he's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I already did it." Yeah. He's like, "What the hell?" So it's that part of you that takes over.
When did you become aware that was missing?
After I turned 50.
After you turned 50?
Oh, there you go, Ricky.
I still got 10 years?
Well, that's different for everybody.
It is different for everybody.
Sorry.
8 years. My bad. 8 years.
He's like, "You got that right, guys."
But actually, that's actually really comforting. That's actually
different for everybody.
Right. But commonalities, right? Like having to be the breadwinner, having to take care of everything, and then not realizing, because sometimes I get frustrated. I'm like, why didn't I figure this shit out sooner? Why am I just figuring this out right now? Okay, so now I have even more questions. So now you figured that out at 50. What have you done to change anything or add or embrace, or what's been the difference since you became aware of it?
Me time. Just doing it. Just being mindful, like very mindful.
So don't second guess anything. Just do.
For the most part, I still have some second guessing that I'm working on, but it's more of, like, I've never needed anything. My husband's been very, on top of everything. Like, I've never needed anything. We've always had what we've needed. The kids have always had what they've needed, but it's now getting out of that mode. Like, right? Like, he worked, I cooked. He worked, I cleaned. Dinner was done. Before I came, I made dinner, right? Those are just the habits that I still have, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's still finding who are you and
in
what,
this new phase of your life, right? Mm-hmm. You can put your shoulders down a little bit and be relaxed.
And see, and I think her husband plays a big role in her being able to go through that when she did, because that's why, like I say, you think like a man.
Yeah.
So unfortunately for you, the reason why you do that, it's not because you grew up a certain way. It's because when you went into life and experiencing living with a significant other, it wasn't what Anita had.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. At all.
It was reversed. You ended up being that plus the one that made sure dinner and everything was on the table. So that's why sometimes even when we get ready, like, Natalie is cool chilling, and I gotta tell, like, we both gotta
the DJ stuff on her back.
We gotta tell you, like, sit down, like,
and that's okay.
The guest is good, Natalie's good, I'm good. I've done what I have to do. Sit your ass down. You don't have to keep moving, and that's why going back to the whole sound baths, where you had to sit still, and you kept talking about how you had kept getting up. how are you going to do it? Because I've never seen you sit still. And that's like not even like a dig at you. That's just more so. The truth. I've never seen you sit still.
Even here, you're fidgeting with your phone. You're checking in on whatever.
I'm constantly moving.
There's a small clip I found. It's like a meditation clip like with yoga, where it's just 2 minutes. Just sit there for 2 minutes. I tried it. And I'm like, and in the moment, my mind, like I was like, cool. I'm just gonna sit here.
But then you start thinking about.
And then I was like, dang, what time is it? How much time do I have left? And the thing said, bring it back. Because it was at the same time that my mind wandered, bring it back. Because we're not in a moment in time where we can sit still, right? You got the computer, you got the phone, you got the TikToks and the Instagrams and,
what are you going to make for dinner?
Everything.
I hear the dog barking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you your opinion on this. From before I could even retain anything or know anything about myself, then what was always told about me was I was born running out of my mother's womb. Mm-hmm. That I was always going, that they couldn't keep me still. That's always what I heard growing up. Whether it was true or not, I don't even fucking know, right? Yeah. But I believed it. And that's how I lived my life.
That was your seed.
That was it, right? Because what if I wasn't?
Well, the thing is, you've been told that your entire life, so it's almost a form of conditioning to the point where you accepted it and you just go about it.
I gotta be it.
Yeah, so if you're not, that's like
it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, because it's there's an irony to, like, that's why when I tell you, like, when I have a gig and you're there, I always tell you, like, this.
Don't do anything.
Don't do anything.
That's
I got
the
this.
hardest.
Like even setting up for this podcast. That's when, like, Natalie already knows. Like, Ray set everything up. We're good to go. Like,
yeah, I'm fully confident that I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna chit chat.
No, but it goes back to what I told. I have this super big fear of losing people. Right in my head, I have this fucking cognate ass thought that if I'm not contributing and if I'm not helping, what if it upsets Ray? And what if he thinks he's doing everything on his own and I'm not helping and then he's like, fuck you guys, I'm done. And then he leaves. And then now I don't have Ray.
But he told you to sit down.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and
which he also says I'm a terrible listener. And I am.
My mom used to always say, no oils, pero compones. like you like when someone, and you got to understand that my wife and I spoke about this. If you've never been spoken to direct as being raised as a child, anytime anyone is direct to you, it might be insulting, or you just don't take it for
You'll
what it
offended.
is. Yeah, you don't.
I can relate to that.
You don't understand the faith that it's just, it is what it is. There's no underlining. There's no.
You start overthinking.
Yeah.
And you start.
How do you relate to that?
Well, how he's saying that when it's indirect, you don't know if what you did was right, if it was wrong.
You start overthinking it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, growing up, it was pretty direct what I was being told about what I could not do.
But did you? But it was direct. But was it the truth?
No.
So it was
then
indirect.
And then you're second guessing. So what did I do wrong? Did I do this wrong? It doesn't feel wrong.
It doesn't feel wrong, but they're telling me it's wrong.
Yeah.
That's my battle.
Yeah.
Damn, that was deep.
Man, this was a good one. This was a good one. We're gonna have to have like Anita come back for a part 2.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Doing
sound baths.
Well, talking about actually what the sound bath experience was like.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Was exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to experience it.
I do. I'm gonna make Nicole give me one.
Yeah, you gotta experience it, and then tell us what it was like,
Yeah.
and then we will experience
I'm
it
sure
from
it's
you.
gonna be amazing.
That's a great point,
Mm-hmm.
actually, for you to do it yourself first,
and then we can all talk about it.
Come back, my wawas are hanging out.
hey, sometimes we need that rest.
She's walking in all noodle legs.
Yeah.
Like, hold her up. She keeps running into the wall.
Yeah. Just do it, and then we'll. What is the word? Reconvene.
Yeah.
We'll come back.
Good.
It's dope.
All right, y'all. Well, I
I love
appreciate
it.
you, Anita.
Thank you. I had fun. This was awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for being
I
a
appreciate all of
lovely
you guys.
soul and chit-chatting and getting us on that sound bath soon.
Yes,
So wait,
absolutely.
did we agree that we're going to have the sound bath here
You
in
wanna
the
hear?
studio on Twitch? Are we going to do it live or
we
not
will,
live?
We will. Just
I don't know why I have to.
If-
why
if
I don't
we-
know if you want to
here.
do it live with Ray's nards potentially hanging out.
My
and
nards
shit.
are not,
over here.
In
my
a row.
nards are not gonna be hanging out.
Sam, please, we need your help with this.
Oh my God. Come hold my nards, baby. Come hold my nards.
So you have what? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I only got 2 nards.
Wait, here's who I. Maybe we should make this a whole family affair in this sense, right? So if we have Samantha and Ray, you and my brother, myself,
The girls.
I would even want Hector to do it.
Oh yeah, Hex for sure.
Could you imagine him sitting still?
No.
No, but I think he should do it. It's gonna be a Rose City Sound experience.
Oh yeah, he has to. He doesn't have a choice.
We'll have Hex, Myra, Severe, Nestor.
We don't have that much space.
Well,
No, we'll go to Anita's
We're
spot.
going to Anita's spot.
yeah, I don't mind.
We'll figure it out.
I need to see what this looks like.
And then
No,
we'll
you
have
know what?
It's
I think-
on my Instagram.
it's
You
on
see
her
the
Instagram,
videos.
right? Jeez. And then maybe Vinny will sign up as well, and then that's how we'll
Vinny,
meet
yes,
Vinny in
yes.
the sound bath.
Yes.
Well, you're inviting him, and now he thinks my nards are going to be out there.
You're inviting
Maybe
him,
that's
so
why
you can't
he'll
talk
go.
to him. He's gonna be asleep.
Yeah. He's going to be like, no.
So I have to bring those cookies.
Yeah, you got to bring those cookies. Him and SP.
We actually haven't tried Vinny's cookies. We've only tried SP.
SP's cookies.
Oh my God, they're divine.
Wait, Vinny. Wait, there's baking going
They're trying to
on.
have a big
So
off.
SP, who's the DJ that came on with Ray
Yes,
this
yes,
last Sunday, and he's also in mental health.
Yeah.
And he plays. Oh, you
He's
should.
gonna
follow
be
him. I'm
on-
gonna send you his profile next month. He'll be
Okay.
with us as well. You're gonna love him, and his live streams because he's a DJ and
Yeah.
he goes on Twitch. He'll pose a question during the live stream to talk about like how do you self-care or how was your just little things like that to help the chat engage, which is really cool. But he makes this mean ass cookie and it's delicious. And Ray and I that was your first time. No, that wasn't
that
your
wasn't
first
my
time. It was your
first
second
time.
time. He had it. But Vinny was on the live yesterday and I didn't know Vinny talks a lot of game with his cooking
Vinny gets down.
capabilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
Did
like,
you say
we're gonna have-
talks a lot of game?
Yeah, well, I say talks because I've never
You
tried the
don't know.
cookie. I
No,
don't
I'm just
know.
doing
Vinny's
peekaboo
real.
right now.
Vinny, you're gonna have to prove yourself.
Hey, Lerma's out here. Dude.
Bang.
Really?
Yes.
It's your masa. It's okay. Go ahead.
Pícale, pícale, pícale.
Wait a minute. Amy says that she saw a picture of Vinny's cookies. He posted the cookies?
Oh,
Wait,
better,
where? I thought he didn't have like a place.
I know.
Better the cookies than his nards.
No, he's on Twitter. Vinny is
Yeah.
only on Twitter and Twitch.
Vinny, do you follow on this frequency on Twitter?
That's a great question.
He said, "I got this."
on
Vinny,
the tweets.
Because I got a Twitter. We
We'll
got
be
a
the
Twitter.
judge.
He probably does, to be
He probably,
honest.
yeah, you know what? He probably doesn't. I'm just the one that doesn't log on to the Twitter.
I'm excited about this cookie thing. So sound baths,
Sound baths, yes.
then the cookie treats.
Yes.
After
Yes.
the sound bath.
Yeah.
And we'll do it at your place because I would like it for it to be a Rose City sound experience. Like everybody needs some fucking healing to do.
Yeah.
Sounds
For
good to
sure.
me.
All right, you guys. Today's episode was produced live by Raymond Andrew at Rose City Sound with your host, myself, I'm Natalie, and Ricky Lee, who is looking for, I don't know what. For inquiries, topics, suggestions, and sponsorships, please email us at onthisfrequency@gmail.com. On This Frequency is available where all podcasts can be streamed. Watch a live stream recording every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch at twitch.tv/onthisfrequency. Watch us on YouTube and be sure to hit the subscribe button to be notified whenever we upload a new episodes. You can always support the On This Frequency team by buying us some coffee. You can send us your donation at buymeacoffee.com/onthisfrequency. And you can keep in touch with us on Instagram and on Twitter. If only I logged on to the Twitter, right? Our handle is simply at On This Frequency. And for those of you tuning in on Twitch, we're closing this episode with your comments and questions after this. Bye.
Vénganse, vénganse, vénganse. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a cantar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a llorar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a fumar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy.
Oh, man. So how's the chat? What are you guys up to in there?
Yeah.
got
Thank
Vinny
you,
What are we
chat.
talking about?
LA Amy and I don't know why I feel like Amy has seen Vinny without us.
Probably. Oh, that would be the mystery of the year.
Everyone except us has probably seen Vinny at this point. And his cookies.
I'm about to look up these cookies.
But I do want to say this. So Amy, she's someone that kind of has helped me throughout my journey these last few months.
Yeah.
One day her and I had a conversation, and this is what would help me realize that I had like my parents in my head all the time. She and Amy, I'm sorry to put your business out there, but this is for the greater good. But she would talk about her mom and how she couldn't get her mom's voice out of her head and the judgment, and she could literally hear her mom's voice.
Yeah.
And that's when it clicked for me. I'm like, man, well, who are these voices?
Yeah. Who's your everybody?
Who's my everybody? And it's mainly my dad, but my mom's in there too.
Yeah.
In real life too. But being able to, make that connection was a game changer, because then it's like, nobody cares. They're not talking to you about like
and now you can drop
like,
your
you're
shoulders
an adult,
a little
Ricky.
bit.
You're an adult. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
I think I had that epiphany when I never cussed in front of my mom.
Really?
I was like, nope, not gonna do it. And then one day I was like, fuck this. And she looked at me and I'm like, hey, I'm old enough already. Hey,
You're an adult.
These are Vinny's cookies.
Let me see. Oh.
Is that white chocolate?
Is that on Twitter?
Macadamia white chocolate?
Is that macadamia white chocolate, bro?
Oh, put it with your arm on the arm Ray cam, on the Ray arm cam.
Oh, there it is. Can you guys see Vinny's cookies?
Yeah, it looks like some kind of white chocolate macadamia thing.
Look at me. I'm like,
Peanut butter.
It's peanut butter?
Peanut butter's good.
What?
Peanut butter.
Wait, then what are the white chunks in it?
Peanut
Butter jelly
peanut
time.
butter.
Peanut butter jelly
And
time.
jelly.
That's how. Peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time.
Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat.
Damn.
That's such a great song. That needs to be in somebody's mix. That's great.
Cue that up, Ray.
There's about to be all kinds of clapping going on at O'Donovan's today.
Which is where we're
And it's not going to be my nards. No nard
I
parties.
think I'm just going to name that episode
Nards.
The Nards. Yeah.
Nards are us.
Nards are us.
That's awesome.
Our inner nard.
Nards. Yeah.
Thank you, Samantha Rochelle.
Oh, my gosh.
I love it.
Those are peanut butter chips? Those are light-skinned peanut butter chips is what they
Hey,
look
no
like.
peanut butter chip shaming here.
Hey, you know what? You know what? Knowing Vinny probably like pureed and crushed the
Yes,
peanuts
made it himself.
and made his own
Whipped
peanut
it.
butter chips. So that's why they're a little bit off on color, but the taste is probably like extravagant. Yeah.
Oh
He's
my
like
God.
Emily in it, like,
You never know. Vinny could probably be that dude with the steak.
Oh,
the
Vinny,
season.
thank you for following us on Twitter. He was
Oh,
following
You're
us.
right.
Yeah, he could be
Wait,
that guy.
so the steak guy, Ray, if you had to pick a cookie, whose is going to be better, SP's or Vinny's?
Well, I can't pick Vinny's because I haven't had it yet.
But based on what you see.
I don't go. Nah. I
They
didn't-
look
to
fluffy.
deceive
Look,
They just look really good.
I'm not this.
They could be fake.
I'm not this thick by just looking at food. Okay.
Oh my God,
some
Amy
eating
said
going on.
Chef Boyar Vinny.
Chef
Yes!
Boyardee Vinny.
CBV.
Oh, we gotta get Samantha to because she's tried SP's cookie.
It took me 3 days.
how
to eat that
how long
cookie.
did it take you, Samantha? Because
You had to slow it down because that cookie was good. Like you didn't want to finish the cookie at once. And
It
it was
was-
so
it was
rich
thick.
and filling.
like
Yeah.
if you get Ricky's mug and you turn it sideways, that's how fat the fucking
It was
cookie
Oh,
really
was.
wow.
thick. Yeah. And you know what? I don't really like thick cookies like that. And I was kind of turned off by it. I totally judged the cookie. I was like,
You don't like chunkies, huh?
I don't like not that kind of chunky cookie. But, so I was kind of like, I was cookie shaming that cookie left and right. But then I just took little.
Yo, he's gonna
little
make
pieces of
birria
it.
this weekend too. All
like
right, fool.
the
You-
cookie plug. Like that.
I've never been to the cookie plug.
Well, I had a Fruity Pebble cookie plug. Oh my God.
Where's that at?
It's off the 10 by
Isn't it
Boot
Victoria
Barn.
Gardens?
by Boot Barn.
Oh, in Montclair.
Wait,
Montclair.
that's where the cookie plug is at?
There's another one up the hill, and I don't know where else.
Have you been to the Boot Barn?
I have. Don't buy their boots. Oh, I have boots in my trunk, so you look at if.
Oh,
I
yeah.
went
Totally
to the
forgot about
Boot
that.
Barn for the first time in my life on my mom's birthday because she made me buy her some boots. That was the first time I'd been there. And then where my daughter works.
This was in her defense. This was before I told her
Yes.
about you and your dad.
Because I want to get myself some botas.
I saw some boots, some ostrich boots there for $500, and
Wait, do you have a plug for somewhere else? Because
my father-in-law.
We're boot people.
Girl, it's,
I
I don't know
wanna
where my
get
phone's
ranchos
at.
too.
Somos, it's right
Yeah.
above you. Somos el rancho.
Pero de avestruz, whatever.
Yeah, botas de
everything,
avestruz.
everything.
Okay, we're gonna.
We
have
need to
to
go
talk.
to a rodeo.
Yeah, I was just telling Alina that I want to take her to El Rodeo down in, I think it's in LA, Hollywood area. I'm going to go get my...
I used to go to the ones in Chino.
Okay, we'll go
Like
there.
the actual jaripeos, like in the
Okay,
people's
let's go.
backyards.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I don't know if they still do them.
You know what? The last time I went to one,
I
of
haven't
those-
seen anyone in anything recently either.
That was a long time ago.
We have some huaraches too.
Hey,
You know, I want to find some... oh,
does he
They're
have
all from
Instagram?
Mexico.
Your father-in-law?
No,
do they make boots for... Does he carry boots for babies?
I could.
Baby boots?
I want to get some for...
Why would you
This
buy
is what they
baby
want me to do on yoga.
Oh.
I don't know what the hell they're thinking.
You know, I've seen that pose where they have their feet
Put
out,
it on the
like,
camera so they
like
can see
like
what,
at the bottom
what
of your
what
feet
your next
up.
phases are.
Yeah. Zoom it in.
Put it
Zoom
back
it in.
Put your phone on.
How is that even possible?
I don't know if they can see it, but how the my feet
Oh,
gonna
there
do
it
that?
is. There it is. Yeah. No, have you seen the one where they put the bottom of their feet up too? Kind of like that, but
That
butterfly?
hurts. Why would you do that?
How?
Absolutely not. Hasta
How?
me duele right now.
How?
Hasta me duele.
Yeah. It looks painful.
That's how you know we're getting
Oh,
older.
and by the way, when you speak Spanish and English, I saw this doctor speak about it and said that you're very smart
Really?
because
Because
your brain has to
Well,
be able
duh.
to
but
I could
To flow
Wait,
without-
hey,
both.
say that louder so my wife. Did my hand just go in there?
Yeah.
that's been
your
the
wife
Ray
on here?
cam.
Has it been on
Hi,
there?
The Ray arm cam.
The
Sam.
right arm cam.
Wait, but you know, growing up, I was always told like pick a fucking language, don't do both. But I
Yeah.
like that you said that. That's nice. I'm with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's supposed to
It
be a
took
smart thing.
it took Samantha 2 days to eat.
The whole
It took
cookie?
me
The whole
two, yeah,
cookie.
it took me 2 days too.
What?
Cause you can't just
Oh,
throb
that-
it down.
just sounds
That
so
make
good.
that makes sense though, because Severe looked like he was dry mouthed when he was mixing that day. Because
He ate the whole
he ate
thing
the whole
outside.
thing, and that shit
Those
looked
are
like he
mine.
was dry mouthing.
It was bad.
Oh, those are sick. Oh,
Those are
yeah.
mine.
Oh, those are
Okay,
beautiful.
no, yes, we need to purchase boots as soon as yesterday.
Yeah.
I,
Well,
you know what?
Taco
Actually, I need
Tuesday.
to take
Hey,
mine out of my closet.
uh,
Ooh, those are
Nateas,
beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so. I'm
um,
gonna get some boots for Taco Tuesday.
are you pulling up to my Taco Tuesday
Yes.
events? Because
Yes.
I play plenty of
Bad Bunny?
Guanaco.
Yes.
Oh, I got
The
so many.
Baboni?
I got so many different versions.
I will be there. When?
And by
are
the
we going?
way, on the Tuesday, my first Taco Tuesday is what, April 4th? I gotta
April
ask my
4th.
manager.
Okay.
Yes,
On the
so
4th.
you're tired?
I'm trying not to be tired. We
You're
have,
only-
we have a long weekend.
You're only 24.
Oh yeah. I'm 24.
You're only 24.
Señora.
Lo que dice the
I love
homie.
that you guys said señora. I was like, I'm a señora. I want to
Lo
be
que
a
dice
señora.
the homie that was rubbing her ear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm a young plug. Okay?
Son, I am a señora. Why are you touching my ear?
You know what's gonna plug me?
Mijo.
This episode's gonna have my arm in it. You should make that the. You should make that the
cover.
thumbnail.
That's the closest thing to a Ray cam that we're gonna get. Like legit.
Better my arm than my nards.
Oh, shit.
Wait, they're giving a hoodie away? That's the giveaway on Taco Tuesday?
The first Taco Tuesday is a hoodie.
Does it
Oh,
say
wow.
Los Doyers? Is it that one?
No, I don't think so.
Is it legit? Have they? We're gonna have to look up what does this look like? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Better than like a calendar.
I know.
I wouldn't want a calendar.
What is a blank
Sorry, I don't want to judge, but I don't want a calendar. I think the last
Nah.
opening day that I,
No,
or
you-
last anything that I went to, I got a calendar, and I was like, calendar.
a
And, no,
late-
and it wasn't from the Dodgers. Sorry, it was from the Angels, and I was like,
Oh yeah, that makes
Oh,
sense.
God,
Oh,
okay.
God.
You
I
know
was gonna
what?
say
They're
that-
not giving away no damn
You know,
calendar.
first of all, you
And
shouldn't
this
be going to
podcast is
those.
brought to you
Yeah.
by no, just kidding.
she is no longer
That's
here.
what, that's what
Taking over.
happens. That's what happens when you marry
Yeah,
an Angel
an Angels
fan.
Yeah, yeah.
No, for the record, my brother was born a Dodger fan, raised a Dodger fan, went through the World Series as a Dodger fan. I don't know who the hell converted him.
Oh,
I think
I
it
was
his
gonna-
dumbass
yeah.
friends.
I was gonna ask, like, I don't know where he got that because he was Angels fan for a long time.
I was ashamed. I was like, take that hat off.
It was probably
What are
just
you
the World.
doing?
He probably became a Angel fan when they won the World Series.
No,
'Cause the
it
la-
was
the-
his friends. It was
It
his
could be
friend. It
that
was
too.
probably Mike Barajas.
Oh, he's a hardcore,
Man,
diehard.
you throwing
fan.
in last names.
Oh yeah.
Government names
just had a
coming out.
baby.
That's how serious
That's
this is.
narking over here.
Ooh.
Let me see.
Amy just sent me the giveaway for. So it's
Oh,
black.
it's a giveaway.
Oh, that's nice.
This isn't the one that they're giving out for the.
Yeah, no, they're
That's-
giving it
no,
away.
that- yeah,
when
that's
you
fine.
go
Oh,
through
oh,
the
oh.
doors, that's what you're getting.
Oh, now we got to get our tickets. Make sure you give me mine, please.
Well, no,
Let me see. Let me
Y gracias.
stare closer. Oh,
That's nice. It's not bad.
Yeah.
yeah, cute.
I just
Did you
can't
see
wait. I can't wait to get like a
see
black
it, Anita?
Tejano from your
Hey,
father-in-law.
but I want to get boots. I'm down every
Oh, yeah,
Taco
that's
Tuesday to
nice.
wear boots.
Yeah, I'm done too. I'll take
Like,
mine out of my closet. I think I have some
100%.
dust. Sorry, girl. I'm over here just like
No, man.
keep looking at it.
Don't scroll left.
Don't look away,
scroll.
Anita.
Don't go like this.
Don't go like that. Actually, just
Naughty
read it. I actually just
Not like my
read.
brother-in-law. Don't keep going. I was like, what the hell?
I read an article about how like that's really rude to do that. Like it's like blasphemous to if you start somebody shows you something and they just start doing that.
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
realize
yeah.
how like
The news that
serious
you're gonna
that
go
was.
through.
You didn't think. Well, that's how you know she doesn't have anything to hide. That's how. She's
in
like,
a
here, you
different
can look.
file.
I mean, I don't either, but yeah, I
Flip
can't
through.
imagine someone like getting nervous, like don't.
so actually that did happen with my mom one time. Like
Wait, what?
Your mom
showing
has
her
her
picture.
phone?
No,
your mom
I
has
was-
cochinadas on her
No,
phone.
I did. And I was showing her a
Señora de la
picture.
casa.
And then, no, actually, here's what happened. You know how Google Photos would be like, oh, here's a memory.
Oh shit! You
So
had a memory.
I had a memory, and it came up. Mom was like, oh my God.
Oh my god! No.
I wanted to die.
La
I would've
memoria.
Your mom got to marry the salsich?
I wanted to die.
No, ma, no más quería.
All the while, mom's like, "Okay, say it again."
Hey,
Oh,
hey.
zoom in on this.
No.
Sorry, mom. I'm just
I would've
kidding.
melted.
Sorry.
Well,
Well,
then,
I-
Because the
melted.
thing is, I was trying to close it out, but like, in the panic of trying to close it out, I opened the whole fucking thing
You
up.
scrolled the.
No.
hey, you know what's funny? So me and my wife, you guys obviously seen us like in person.
Yeah.
You haven't
I
seen us
haven't
in
met your
person,
wife.
right? So, but like in person, like we do dumb shit, right?
Yeah.
So there'll be like times where like I'll just pull up behind her, and go like I'll thrust, right? I'll thrust behind her. So I don't know what we were doing, but we were standing by the front door, and then I think the pizza came, and then my wife closes the front door, and she grabs me and she thrusts me. But then I look over, I said, you know, my daughter's standing right there, right?
Life lessons, handing out life
She gonna
lessons.
learn today.
She's like, just kidding. Starts rubbing the top of my head. I was like, what the fuck is that going to do?
You didn't see that. You didn't see that.
I was
We're
reaching
just
over for your
playing.
daddy has to do his hair.
But I accidentally went like this.
I was gonna fall and I had to grab him.
I was like, yo.
Oh god, it's so funny. I love it. I love it.
Oh man.
It's awesome.
All right.
Well, we gotta get up out of here because
Yeah.
Ray's got a set to do. So
Gotta
and we
set O'Donovan's leaky
and-
boobs. Anita's gotta do some self care. I'm sure it's
hubby
something.
time.
Yeah,
Happy
Oh,
you gotta do it.
oh.
Hubby time.
Happy time. Da-na-na-na.
Ba-da, ba-da.
She has a soundtrack to it and all.
Oh. She doesn't need, it's not, come touch it.
And the
That's
hip thrust.
hilarious.
Good night, y'all.
Peace.
Bye.
Thank you.
Vénganse, vénganse. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a cantar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a llorar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a fumar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a jugar.